welcome courageous Capricorns. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thanks for joining me today. I'm here to do your tarot astrology for May 2020. Well, if you haven't followed me before, it's a combo of different modalities, metaphysical modalities. So I'll draw two theme cards for you for the month, then have a look at your horoscope, draw some tarot cards week by week, and finish up with a psychic channeling summary, if you like, of what the likely influences are and what's likely to happen for you. So let's have a look at the board now and see what's happening for you. First thing I'll do is draw these two theme cards, one at the beginning of the month and then one for the end of the month. So looking at courageous Capricorns for the first 2.5 weeks of May 2020, going for that card there. Closing my eyes now. What can I see for you? I see it's like a cutting machine. So this refers to cutting off a lot of old connections to the past, old situations, maybe people that are not suitable to be in your life anymore. They don't contribute to your life in a positive way, and you probably don't contribute to their lives either. So it's a time. It could also mean cutting back, okay, being cautious with your finances, and just sticking to your budget more, probably to do with everything that's happening in the world now with COVID-19, and so I do get you just cutting back. That probably means with regard to the way you spend your money. Okay, so the card that comes up is a great card, the Wheel of Fortune. So this is basically saying that a cycle is ending, so a new cycle can begin. So you might have to again cut things back so that you can make space in your life for the new energies that are coming in. But the Wheel of Fortune is turning for you. So if things have been a bit rough lately, this is implying that you're going into a new cycle and it's going to be somewhat easier in the future. Easier, that's probably not quite the right word, but somewhat of an improvement. Let's put it that way. So improving circumstances around you, courageous Capricorn, in the first half of the month. And then looking at the second final half of the month for courageous Capricorns, what theme? Closing my eyes now. Yeah, I see a compass, and it actually is, well, here's the compass here on the card, but it's not quite exactly the same, but it is a similar sort of theory. It's a similar sort of energy. It's like you're out on the ocean on a grand adventure, and you're following the signs to get you where you want to go. So this spiritual compass is steering you in the right direction. All right, and we come up with the Two of Wands. Okay, this implies that you've been fenced in or hemmed in some way. There's been some sort of restrictions around you. However, in this stone wall, you can see there's a gap here, and you can step out of these restrictions if you choose. It will take action, okay? It's not just a case of thinking about it or wishing it to happen. You've actually got to take physical action, but also to do with expressing yourself. And you'll see here there's a balloon with I don't know if you can see that sort of picture of the earth on the balloon. So it's sort of like a symbol of being in touch with spirit. She's burning some sage sticks here to cleanse the area from the past, and she's about to step out of her restrictions. So yes, that does fit again with cutting off situations and people from the past that no longer serve your highest good in the second half of the month. Let's have a look at your horoscope, courageous Capricorns. 3rd of May to August 8th. Venus is in your 6th house here. This is quite a long visitation in this house. for just over 4 months for Venus to be in the one place. It's all about self-improvement, harmony. This could be your everyday sort of work that you do, your routine type of work, your daily habits, your well-being and your health. So with Venus there, that gives you sort of a smooth flowing peacefulness in these areas. So it's a very harmonious sort of energy. You get along well with people that you work with. If you've had difficulties in the past, then there could be sort of a let up that those difficulties sort of died down. Having said that, on the 13th of May, Venus does go retrograde. Okay, so it doesn't actually, the whole planet doesn't turn backwards, but on Earth it looks like it's going backwards to us if we were to look at it. With Venus retrograde, things could get, a little bit quieter. And with regard to your finances too, because Venus does rule not only peace and harmony and beauty, love, but also your money. So things could get a little bit quieter or not be as they seem. You might sort of get an idea about something going on at work, and then when Venus turns direct on the 25th of June, you might find out that you misunderstood the situation, or it's not as it appears to be. Okay, so just be cautious about making any sort of really important decisions with regard to your everyday work or your health or things like that, because as I said, when Venus turns direct, it could be a different scenario. 18th of April to May 20th, the Sun is in your 5th house here, which is wonderful for creativity, romance, what I call young love. And that's when you first meet somebody and you don't know them very well, but there's a bit of a spark there and you can both feel it. It's a lovely energy, and that's joined from the 27th of April to May 12th with Mercury also in this house. So that means there's lots of communications about romance or your creativity, or even to do with the world of the child. You might find yourself having more to do with children, or getting in touch with the child within, the inner child, your own child. And that means fun and entertainment. Okay, 1st of May to the 8th of May, Venus is square Neptune. Okay, so Venus here, Neptune here, and this sort of can lead you, you could be thinking along the lines of romance again, and your hopes and your dreams and your fantasies are particularly very strong, but you're not seeing the situation. It's like looking at a situation with rose-coloured glasses. You could become infatuated with somebody, but they're not the person you think they are. And again, when Venus turns direct on 25th of June, then you might get a bit of a awakening and be surprised to find out who they really are. They're not who you think they are. Okay, but it's very good for creativity, especially if you're an artist or you're involved in design or graphics or something like that. 7th of May sends a full moon in your 11th house of connections, groups, friends, and hopes and dreams. So a full moon brings up things to deal with out of your subconscious. So sometimes it can be a little bit bumpy, but it is also the ending of something. And it might be that you decide to get rid of some Facebook friends, those people that are always sitting there lurking, but they don't really contribute. So it could be as simple as that. Or it could be that something happens with a friend or a connection and they move away, or the connection's not how it used to be, and so that connection has to be severed or cut in some way. Okay, 11th of May to the 29th of May, Mercury then moves into your 6th house, from the 5th house into the 6th house, and then again that's more about your everyday habits, your work, perhaps you know, your health, your well-being. It means there's a lot of activity and a lot of messages. You're getting you're having communications about these issues. May 12 to June 28th, Mars in your third house here, and this third house here. So it moves from your second house of finances into your third house of communications, and this can involve your local area, your neighbours. It could involve your siblings, but you've got more motivation to communicate. If you've got a small business, you might be thinking of doing some sort of promotional offer, campaigns. Could also be for everybody blogging, doing YouTube videos, just communicating in general. Now, 19th of May to the 21st of May, the Sun is in your sixth house. So the Sun is moving from creativity and romance and the world of the inner child into your everyday habits, everyday work, health and well-being here. You could find yourself doing your best work, producing really, you know, high quality things. There's a lot of insight and awareness about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and you're doing a good job. So self-improvement, if you have had some issues with your health or well-being, you might be feeling better during this time. And May 28th to August 5, Mercury then moves again into your seventh house here, up to here. Now, it's a bit unusual because Mercury basically is in 3 houses this month, and that doesn't happen very often. And so that just means that there's a lot of activity in these areas of your life, a lot of communications. Seventh house is about committed relationships. It could be your partner, your business partner, even a colleague that you work with if you're particularly close. It's also about legalities. If you've got any legal things happening, there's some communications or news about that. It can even be the house of open enemies. You might hear something, but it's generally not a negative thing. Mostly it's a positive thing. Okay, so let's have a look now and see what the tarot brings up for you in May 2020. Courageous Capricorns. May 2020, courageous Capricorns. First week of the month. Let's see what we can see. I'm going to go with that card. Closing my eyes, I've got a small wooden boat on, I'm not sure if it's a sea or an ocean, and it's fairly quiet, so it's, you know, you might not be sure of your direction at the moment because it is dark, but there is a moon, a full moon I can see, but the water's not rough, so it's just a case of going along, doing whatever you think is best at the moment. And we come out with the Four of Swords. Okay, the Four of Swords indicates that you might be really tired. If you're not careful, you could go into sort of an exhaustion phase. So really important to take a rest, take some R&R at the moment, because you don't want to be, you know, running yourself ragged. Swords sometimes are about our thoughts, and your thoughts might be racing at 100 miles an hour and exhausting you. So take control of your head and don't let your thoughts get out of control. Okay, and remember we talked a lot about the activity here in your sixth house of everyday routine and health and well-being. So because there is so much energy going on there, please take time out if you feel, you know, you don't feel great. All right, second week of the month for courageous Capricorn. Second week of the month for May. All right, going with that card. I've got a flash of yellow. It's like the sun. Yellow, solar plexus energy, goal-oriented behavior, self-esteem, confidence, getting things done. A helpful, beneficial father or authority figure. Somebody could help you out. And we come up with the Fool tarot card. Okay, this is about stepping out into something that you've wanted to do, but perhaps other people are trying to put you off. See this little dog here trying to hold you back. This could be your family, your friends, your partner, whatever. Somebody trying to hold you back, but you want to step out on a new adventure, and often the universe will give you bonus points, so to speak, if you're gutsy enough to step out and take a risk. Okay, you need to take action. It's not going to fall in your lap. There's also green here for opportunity. This could be about money, because green can also represent money. She's got her feet on the ground. She's not off with the fairies. And if you've done your research and you're being quite practical about your new idea that's coming, this is quite a good card in that respect. She's on the earth there. She's about to step into the water. Remember, I was talking about, not sure if it's an ocean or a sea, but it was dark, and but the water was calm. So you can see how still the water is there. The water is symbolic of your emotions, okay? This also indicates travelling. She's got a travelling bag, but it's not likely that you'll travel at the moment with COVID-19. It's more that you might plan or think about some overseas travels, and it really means stepping out into new horizons. So if you've already got a small business, you might decide to keep a new product. You might pivot your business so you're keeping a product that you didn't before and going into a slightly different area. If you've recently lost your job, you might decide to start making money online or in a new area somehow, but stepping out and taking that risk. Middle of the month for courageous Capricorns. Middle of the month for courageous Capricorns. Okay, I'm going to go with that one underneath there. And closing my eyes now, what do I see? Again, I see like a cutting machine, or there's a knife here in a scabbard which is being sharpened. Okay, so sharpening up your mental faculties. Okay, so maybe you're thinking about doing some study or getting your thoughts together, getting more organized, sharpening up your knowledge about something new that you can go into. All right, and we've got the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is the end of a cycle where you might have, that involves your emotions basically, and it's about your hopes and dreams. So rub the lamp and the genie appears and grants your wishes, okay, your 3 wishes. However, you'll see she has red legs and a red and black skirt on, which implies action needs to be taken. The black is about not having all of the information, okay? She's taking action, but she doesn't really know. But sometimes you've got to take action to find out. So it's, in this current sort of entrepreneurial type parlance is called iteration. And that means that you start on something, it's not perfect, but you kind of fix it as you go, and you tweak it and you retweak and you measure, and then you retweak again and you measure, and just keep making small little changes till you get it right, basically. Cups, as I said before, is all about emotions. You'll see again here the theme of not really an ocean, but like a sea. It's very calm. There's a challenge here in the background, but you can be given, if you ask, you can be given the energy to overcome that challenge. Okay, hopes and dreams being fulfilled if you take the right steps in the middle of the month. Courageous Capricorns. All right, looking at the 4th week of the month to see what comes out for you. 4th week. Okay, I'm going to go with that card there. Closing my eyes now, what do I see? I see clouds in the sky, but they're sort of wispy and they're just blowing away. So these could be worries or just sort of general thoughts put a bit of a dampener, but it's not really raining. They're not going to turn to rain. So, there's not going to be, it shouldn't be terrible or anything like that, but they're blowing away. So you might have had some worries and they're just sort of blowing away now, moving away. So I wouldn't worry too much. We've got the Third of Wands. This is about teamwork. In your plans, you may need to work with other people in some capacity. This can also be your family, okay? Maybe you've got a family plan concerning a family member or, a property or something, and you have to get together and discuss it. Sometimes the discussions are not, 100% pleasant, but they're not unpleasant. I mean, you might have a few glitches, but nothing major. It's just that people are passionate about what they reckon. So let them talk and just, put your 2 cents in. You'll see this one in red here is very fiery. Somebody who's could be spiritual or, understands what the situation, and another person who doesn't understand the situation at all, dressed in black. It doesn't mean this person's evil. It just means that they don't understand and they haven't got all the information. But despite whatever glitches, you can all work together and get the job done. It's a favourable result in the end. All of this energy down here, this fiery solar plexus energy I was talking about before, you'll get the job done. So it's about teamwork. Okay, looking at the last couple of days of the month, courageous Capricorns. Let's see what comes out. Oh, that one come out. All right, before I turn it over, I'll just have a look and see what I can see. Closing my eyes now. Okay, it's a bit dark. I feel like I'm in a bit of a basement or something like that, a bit down, and I get the sense of chains. So the sense of restriction, can't see them really clearly at the moment. Right, there's a way out of this. I can see it's like a castle, a grey castle, and I see the moat. It's like I'm in the stone castle and I'm coming out of there, coming along the bridge across the moat. Okay, so different energies that are coming together to solve a problem. Okay, let's see what this card says. Oh, okay, it's the Hangman. All right, so this is basically saying be patient. Won't happen overnight, but it will happen. Okay, this in numerology is like the number 0. 9s are the end of the cycle, then 1s are the beginning of the cycle, and 0's in the middle, so it goes 9, 0, 1. And the Hangman is like the 0. You're sitting in limbo waiting for something to happen, okay? So just can't take action now. So you might start on something, but it doesn't happen straight away. So the end of the month, you're still waiting. You could be waiting on other people here to come back to you with information because you don't have all of the information or all of the facilities that you need to in order to make a decision. But that's okay. It's not a bad card. It just means that everything has to be in order first before you can move ahead, and that's what will happen. Okay, so I'll just close my eyes now to get a final summary for you psychically. Courageous Capricorn, okay, so I see a door closing and there's a little bit of light coming from underneath. And I feel a sense of mixed bag of senses of emotions here, because it's like I'm not sure about the direction moving forward, but I know there is a direction, and I know I have to leave that door closed and move on. They're now showing me a watch, and they're saying it's a matter of timing. So it's just when the timing is right, okay? So don't put yourself under stress and think, oh, I have to do it by next week. It's when the time is right. You will, move from your old life into the new life. And, you might do it in stages. It doesn't mean you have to cut everything off immediately, okay? There's a spotlight I see a spotlight, and it's shining down on the ground. There's a hole in the ground, like a manhole in front of me. So the spotlight's on that, and basically saying, don't fall down here. So there could be something coming up in the next, quite soon. I think we're talking days or weeks, certainly not months, which is a bit of a trap job. So you can go around that and continue on your way. So just don't get pulled. It's a bit like that card before, the Hanged Man here. Sorry, not the Hanged Man. The Fool, where the little dog is trying to pull a person back from stepping out. If it feels like that perhaps somebody's trying to pull you back to the past, and Spirit's basically saying, don't get trapped into that idea again, or don't go down that path again. You can move around that, sidestep it, so that you can keep going in the direction you want to go. Okay, so that's it for this month, Courageous Capricorns. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful in some way. Please leave a like if you have. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you get updates whenever I do anything new. But most importantly, have a very insightful month this month. Okay, thanks again, and bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website, absolutesoulsecrets.com, for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.